everyone, it's Linda from LindaZ in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Ready for some really cool things today? I hope you are, because I have some very fun experimental things that I want you to look at. First of all, I am in front of the most beautiful Luminaire 3. It's a brand new sewing machine from Brother. You can see this beautiful front, and can anybody see what is hidden inside the cover? It's kind of a little bit of a a test. I didn't know right away myself, so kind of look at it and see. And if you've got it and you know what it is, put it in a comment, because I'm sure everybody will like to know. We are going to start out today with explaining some of the new features on the beautiful new machine. I'm just absolutely thrilled to be able to have it. It's a little bit different look. It has this it's almost a gray black, and then the gray on the side and around the screen is kind of a blackish gray too. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up, and I'm actually going to sew for you, because I would like you to see some of the things you can do and some of the embellishments that are on this new machine that will help you, whether you are a quilter, a garment sewer, just a craft sewer, or a repairer and just having fun. I would like to show you one major feature that I'm actually going to demonstrate on the machine, because I think that will give you an idea of the threading and of some of the things on the screen. I'm going to actually go step by step into the screen to show you what it will do. Before I do that, I want to explain, and I have a little cheat sheet here to show you, because I could not even keep it, even though I own the machine. I couldn't even keep it all together. There were so many things. I'm going to start with my favorite, of course, is what we're going to do today, and it's called the long stitch. And the long stitch is something that many of you might have seen before, with real long stitches with string, and then there's long stitches that are sewn over it. We're not going to use string, but it's going to look like that when we're through. And you can almost see by the jacket behind me, there is one, and I'll bring it up close when I get up to showing you the actual design. But that is one of the projects that I want to show you. If I went into every single one, we would be here for probably 8 hours, maybe even longer. But at least I can explain some of the new features, because those of you that already have a Luminaire 1, a Luminaire 2, you can very easily upgrade without paying all the thousands of dollars that it would take to get a new machine by doing the upgrade. And we do have an upgrade package where we put together, in fact, I have the upgrade. They are so hard to get, I can't even tell you. And what we've done, we've taken your name. We've got a lot of names on the list, so you will go on you will get it. However, we are trying to get a time element from our manufacturers, and we're not able to do that. So this upgrade is, I think I can say the price. The upgrade itself is $12.99. We've put a special package together that's even lower than that, with including a $900, their new magnetic hoop, and we've also put in a it's over $1,000 package from OESD for I think it's 25 packs or different design packages, and 600 and some designs. It's absolutely a beautiful package, and I did do a video on one of the designs. It was an orange shirt, and it might be in our videos there somewhere. So let me go into the rest of the things that I think are great about this upgrade, because if you can't get this new machine, some of you haven't sewn on a Brother before, I guess I can let you in on a little secret, because I have a big studio, and at some point I am going to have Nick come to the studio, and we'll film in there if we can get in the door now, because my actual studio, I have at least 6 top-of-the-line machines. And the reason that I do have them is because I do so many videos on Bernina, Brother, Janome, Pfaff, Viking, all the different brands, Juki. And I really need to be able to sit down. I'm not one of these people that will teach a design or teach a project unless I've actually sewn it. To me, that is a real important factor for you to really understand, because then I can really explain where I've come. Let me make the mistakes, and you guys have the fun, right? Okay. So one of my favorite things besides this long stitch, a long stitch has taken everybody by surprise. We didn't know it was coming, and we were just thrilled that it was there. But something else that came, I can't even believe they put it in, and it's called the I'm going to give it on this side. It's called the Auto Split Large Designs. Now, we've been able to do that before, but only with software. You could never do that in your sewing machine. So I am just thrilled about that feature. You have seen throughout my videos at different times different backs on jackets, and I've done quite a few quilts where the center, I've even put them on point, and I've actually done different designs that are quite large, and in order to get that in there, I've had to go through software to split it. Now you can actually do it in the machine. There are some built-in embroidery lettering fonts, an additional, there's 4 more. The couching is something I was really amazed. It's a different program than the couching we've had in the past. You can do couching on the other machines, but not the way they have it this way. And they've added, there's 108 embroidery designs for couching. So it's amazing what they're doing. My Design Center, that's a wonderful creative area, and I'm sure we're seeing it in many of our machines. We've seen it in our Babylocks, where the Design Center has just, I mean, amazingly grown. And there are 6 new fills in there. And what's really cool, and I did bring this box because I think it's an important one to show you, there is a new stylist. Now this is the stylist, and what's so neat about this, I can turn it over and it doesn't come out. This is the stylist that we've had in the past, and I don't know if you can see the light, but I put this little light on, and I can put it on here, and all of a sudden, if I touch the screen, I will have laser lights that will be showing on there, giving me the position of the stitches and actually showing me the stitches. But that's not what I wanted to show you. I'm going to take this out, and actually what I can do with these, and see they don't fall out, I can put them right back here on the back. There's a little place for them, right here and right here, and underneath is the new stylist. You get both with this, and I'm sure that this new stylist is coming with the upgrade. What is great about this stylus, I love to draw. I think it's one of the most important things. And I will show you in a future video how to go onto the screen and actually draw your name, but with this stylus, not with the other stylus. The other one, the lines get a little thick and they're not quite as fine when you get into the drawing part. So this has just been a wonderful thing. And look at this Muvit foot. This is, we've had Muvit feet before. I have another one that is really good too, but they've tapered this now. It's much smaller. I think it's very, very wonderful. This does not come with the upgrade, but it does come with the new machine, and I believe you can, I'm sure you can purchase it. This little button here is got for a belt that can make it go faster or slower, and it just fits it perfectly into this. They even have a little cutout so you can actually put it in there. And then there's a wonderful straight stitch plate and all of your different pieces in there. So I thought you would enjoy seeing some of that. And look at, I dumped it out without putting it and nothing fell out. And that's what's really great about the designers. These are Japanese designers, and it's amazing what they do. They've made it really simple and easy for us to work with. The stitch tapering function, that's something that I did years and years ago. I probably shouldn't tell you how many years ago on another machine, because we could really make that stitch go to a very, very narrow point all the way to the end. And there's a little difference on this one, but I'm not going to show you it today because I want to spend some time and actually explain it. It's just a wonderful, feature on the new machine. And then the favorite of all the quilters, the edge-to-edge quilt feature. They put 10 new, I don't know what they call it, measurements in there, so that you literally can put the measurement of your queen size quilt or your twin size quilt, and you know how many times you're going to and how you're going to hoop your fabric. I mean, why didn't we think of this before? It's just a great way to be able to do the computerized quilting that so many of us are getting into today. So a couple of other features on here, but I won't go into all of them. I just want you to see it. This is a beautiful brochure that we do have in the store. And in here it's showing, and this little flower, you can see it, you don't have to get up real close. The other thing that I actually did the colors that were in the flower because I wanted you to be able to see what string art or long stitch embroidery looks like. And I think it turned out really, really spectacular. Mary's the one, our manager, is the first one that said, oh my goodness, I have to have that. That's something I'm really looking forward to. So what I did today, and let's get right into the demo. I'll show you step by step because I think those of you that have the machine, it's always great to see how we start. And those of you that don't, you can do the same type of thing on your machine at home. I love these little packets. When we found these, I said, get as many as you can. These are actually, I've got one open here that I don't have hooped yet, and these are actually pillow forms. And sweet little, they're home deck fabric, so they're sturdy, and they have a zipper in the bottom here, an invisible zipper, which is really wonderful when you're going to be stitching this afterwards. So what you can do with this is easily open this up and put it on the fabric and put it into your hoop. I'm going to start with what type of stabilizer you use because that's a very important part. Well, let me tell you first, before you even put that into the hoop and put your stabilizer on, I take this over to my Loristar, and if you don't have a Loristar, I'm not going to actually do it, but you see this is the kind that has all of the, there's a nice big vent here for steam. So just make sure you have a nice iron that has got lots of steam, because when you're getting into this steaming arena, you really see how many of these, or how these wrinkles are in here right now, and it's heavy fabric. It's home deck fabric, so you really want to be able to press it. Those of you that, and I press it on this right side, because if you go to the wrong side, there's kind of a little backing on there that will not do well with your iron. So this particular Loristar iron has another iron that clamps right over it, and it's a Teflon backing. So if you have a Teflon on your iron, you do want to use that, and then you can also press it on the back. But press it on the front first with lots of steam, and all these wrinkles will come out. And do that before you put it in the hoop. Then right before you put the fabric in the hoop, make sure you press it so that your fabric is warm. And what I am using in this, because this is string art, and what do you think long stitch designs are? You're right, they're long. They're open. And so when you are doing a string art like that, you know, many times this is a woven fabric. I'm not going to have you use the normal heat and stay fusible that we would on a regular, well, this isn't a woven fabric that I have on, but on a regular woven fabric, because that woven fabrics that we use, usually I'm doing that with a heavier, denser design. This is something called Stitch and Wash Fusible. And I typed in on the bottom, water soluble tearaway. It's one of the best stabilizers for open designs or stitches that are very long, and you don't want to have too much heavy stabilizer in there to pull out. This comes off very easy, and when you wash it, you'll find the rest of it will come off, and the stitches that are the stabilizer will actually stay in the stitches. That's what you want. So again, anytime you can use a fusible, you can maybe see on the back where it's a little shiny. You want to use the fusible so that it won't stretch and the fabric will really stay, keep from puckering. Another little thing that I have around here that I've hit 2 or 3 people lately, I don't know why, but it's just, well, what do you do to close up your stabilizers? I know we sell all those other things, but this is the easiest for me. I go to my Word, I use my Word in my machine and my computer. I just type out the label, put it on 76 font, and then this Hugo tape is wonderful. Just wrap it around and it stays. I know exactly what it is. I also take the wrappings and put them in here because then I know if there's whatever is in there is going to hopefully stay. And if it does get lost, at least I've got my label so I know what I'm working with. Not only do you use, and you can see on the back, I've already hooped this. This is the Stitch and Wash fusible, or the fusible tearaway. But I've also on the top used a water-soluble topper. I definitely would do that even in a long stitch like this. Sometimes if there's a real open design like lace, I wouldn't use a topper. But this topper will really make sure that the stitches adhere and stay well on the fabric. Then I've taken that, I know I have it here somewhere, that little magic tape. This was the one. The embroidery perfection tape. I couldn't be without that. And believe it or not, I use these over and over. Once I'm done with them, I don't throw them away. I just stick them on the edge of my machine and I use them again. And they just hold the topper in place. This does not have to be in the hoop real tight. It's just a topper. So again, it's embroidery perfection tape. And this is something I wouldn't be without. Do not use the painter's blue tape. And again, blue gets on fabric very easily and it is not water fast and everything like this is. So I have now my Stitch and Wash on the bottom that's already been pressed on. I put it, this is an 8x8 hoop. It's an extra hoop that I've had for a long time. It has the perfect stick all around holding the topper on. Now I'm going to put it into the hoop. And you can see it first before I put it in, so if my arm doesn't move on the machine, because sometimes a machine will move the arm out of the way because they don't know what size your hoop is going to be. I'm going to touch my screen, and you can see, let me go back to the home because I want you to see exactly where I'm starting from. Can you get that, Nick? Is it up here? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and touch embroidery. And in embroidery, you can see there's new things up here. And this is one, there's a whole new category here, this number 7, that all of these stitches in this category are what they call long stitch designs. The one right here, I'm going to show you up close in a moment. Well, you can see it on the pillow there in front of the machine. That is one of the long stitches that I did. And it just turned out really, really fun. Just a little, you don't need a lot. I think it would be wonderful in a quilt that is a special quilt that you're giving to somebody, and you can do it in different blocks. It would have to be very simple because this will really stand out with the long stitch. So many of the art quilts are doing a lot of things like that. So now I'm going to touch, I want to do this sunflower, which I think is just really fun for fall. I think it's one of the colors. I'm going to go in and set it. Now, what is great about this screen now, it's telling me all my colors. I have 3 minutes on the number 208, 6 minutes on the 206, and then 2, 2, and 1. I'm not going to have you sit and watch all of this. I'll go ahead and get it started and show you exactly what I'm doing, but then I'll come to the end and show you how we stop. So before I get started, I've set everything. I don't want to change it. This is actually in the middle. I don't want to change the size of the design, but what I do want to do on the design is I want to move it. I want to be able to maybe bring it up a little and then maybe over it a little bit. Let's bring it down a little bit like that. So now I can go ahead and say, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the embroidery. And look at how this is very important, what they're saying. This machine is so smart. It's telling you to ensure there's enough upper and bobbin thread to completely stitch the design. In other words, you don't want to run out of bobbin thread in the middle of one of the colors. You could run out in between, that doesn't matter, but in one of the colors. So I have a brand new bobbin, and I put black in here. It's a pre-wound bobbin. I always use the pre-wound. They're so easy and they work so well. I don't have to worry about me, you know, how thick I've had it or anything. So it's brand new. I know it's, and I've done these designs a few times already, and it only takes a little bit of it. So I could have used, you know, a partial bobbin, but I wanted to make sure. Now I will say okay, and we see the layout. This is your very first stitch. which is going to be in this color, number 208. I always take a magic marker and put my 208 right on the top of the thread. That way I know when I'm looking at my thread boxes, which I have probably 100. I have a whole shelf. All right, now this is really, I'm glad this happened because I knew this was going to come. Do you see how these little flowers are poking out of the thread? Because it will not let me do that. It's so smart that it knows that I have put that design in the wrong size. Since this was in the middle, as you know, I went to the edit screen, I moved it again, and didn't put it right in the middle. I didn't want you to have to sit through all that, but I just went to the left a little and up to the right. It clicks and it'll show you exactly how far you can go when you have your hoop in and your bar down. So it was just a great way. I think it's a good learning experience for some of you to see what we've done. I want to show you just the actual threading. This can you see that here? I think it's a really wonderful piece, and it's very, very simple to open up. Just flip your thing, and there's magnetic little magnets that are going to, inside this bar, that are going to go click right on here. There you are. Voila. And I'm going to bring this up, and then I'm going to flip this over so that this is the place that's going to hold your threads. I'm going to thread this for you because I want you to see how easy the threading is on this machine. When you thread a machine, and if you learn nothing else today, whether you're an embroiderer, a quilter, or garment sewer, you always want to hold that loose thread with your other hand. If you're a right-handed person, you're going to go here with the right. You're going to go around, just follow the numbers. It's very, very easy to do. I'm going to come down, and then I'm going to follow those numbers around, take it over there. And the key thing that I always tell all of our students in our store is that, you see how this foot is up? If I had that foot down and I was threading that machine, I would just have nothing but trouble. It would be nesting. I might start with little burrs. There'd be all kinds of issues. You always want your foot up no matter what sewing machine you have. The next thing I'm going to do is to go and thread it. Just touch that little button. This is the magic thread, I call it. Now I don't have to do anything else. It looks like it's caught around there. It doesn't matter at all. Stitching here, all those little flower leaves. And this is going to be your top leaf. You see that crosshair there? It's showing you that's as far out as it's going to go. So it really is up in the right-hand corner, and that's kind of where I wanted it. And then it's going to continue to go down. It'll go around here. And again, you can see here there's 3 minutes of sewing. We're working on the first thread of 5. There are only 2,724 stitches. So that's not a lot in embroidery. Even today, 500,000 or 600,000 are not a lot of stitches. Look at the design. I don't know if you can see that up close, but it looks like, you know, somebody was trying to stitch and they didn't know what they were doing. That's why you've got to know you're doing a long stitch design when you're doing this. See how cool that is? So again, and it's, the machine is slowing itself down. It does well over 1,050 stitches RPMs. It's just a very fast machine. But when you're doing long stitches like that and you're moving your machine, especially in a circle, you really have to have a precision machine to make sure that it works properly. And that's what is happening here. They're going in a lot of different directions. So now you see this 5.5 inches by 4.95 inches. That is, it could be millimeters, but I wanted the metric system. For a lot of people, it's harder to figure out, so I put the inches on there. Also, I want you to look at the hoops. You see these 2 smaller hoops are grayed out. It comes with 4 hoops, and this is one of the sizes that we're using. It's an 8x8. It doesn't really come with it, but a 5x7 would have worked too because this is very small. Then you can see on the left here, it's showing you what size of the foot and what number, and it's called the W foot. And this little arrow here is showing you how far along we are with that color. So we're almost up to the end. In fact, It's just about ready. It's hard to see it maybe on the camera, but it's just like a few stitches short of going to the second one. So we've done 3 minutes, and then I have the colors all lined up so that I know which ones I'm going to go. The machine is so smart. It says, doot, 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 you're done. You're ready for another color. What I can do now is just take my thread. I don't even bring my scissor here, but I'll just, this is a really quick little tip. You always want to pull your thread from the front, always. And again, take that out, go to your next color. And these threads are brother threads. I love them. I do use Floriani quite a bit too, and Isacord. Isacord's a great thread too, but I found, and another thing, I found these threads work beautifully. I love the colors. I go through here when I'm just kind of do it out of habit, when I'm doing real heavy stitches, or maybe there's jerking stitches where I don't want it ever to come out of the thread guide. So this just helps it a little bit. I don't even think it's in the book, but we found in our seminars and everything that this works absolutely beautiful. So I've started the next color, which is the second color, 206. And again, you can see the little green cross hatch that's going across. And again, it looks like a mess, and that's the way it should look. So don't worry about it. I think it's just so fun. And you'll see this mess that we're doing right now is going to be very unusual when you are finished with it. You can kind of see the colors that I'm going to put in here are going to be really fun. Only 3 more colors left. So what I'll do is I'll finish this up, and when I get to the very last color here, I'll bring you back and show you what we're doing. This design is all done. You can see it truly does look like the string, the hand embroidered string design that many people know how to do. Last and the most important part is to just take your pillow. Here's one that's all done. I won't take it out of the hoop. You're going to take that all out like I've shown you in the past. You're going to clip this all the way around. But before you do it, don't forget to open your zipper. You know why it's important to open that zipper before you do the pillow? Before you stitch around all 3 sides? Because you want to be able to turn it to the right side. And then I filled it with, this was a pillow, 14 by 14. I opened it up and just put the stuffing in the way I liked it. That's why the one on the front here is really a, you can see it in front of the machine, is really, you know, just very, very plumpy and the way I like it. I hope this has helped you. Come and see us. I'll have them, those of you that are local, I'll have them in the store and you can see them up close. Have a great week, and I hope to be back with some of these other great features.